Unlock your potential today at skillbakery.com.
Now in this one, we will be creating a memory chatbot. Now this chatbot is going to be special because it will remember past messages, it will use conversation history to respond naturally, and it will feel continuous, not stateless. In OpenAI terms, this is done by sending the previous conversation turns back to the model every time. And we will be building this using React, OpenAI SDK, Responses API, and Conversation State. To build this, first of all, go ahead and create a new application called Chatbot using this command npm create reach at latest and then the name of the application. Once you do that, you need to select the framework as React and the variant as JavaScript. Then for roll down white, select no, and over here when it says install with npm and start now, just say yes. But before running, you also need to ensure that you have installed the OpenAI npm package. Once you have done that, you need to create a file called chatbot.jsx. Now here you can see that we are following the same convention that we followed in our story journey application. So here we are making use of the OpenAI library and we are passing the API key. Since we are passing it from the client side, we are allowing the dangerously allow browser set to true. Now we know that large language models are stateless, so they don't remember anything by default. To add memory, we store the entire conversation in React state and send it back with every request. Over here, you can see that we have this const defined as messages, set messages, use the state, and here we have role and content defined. Role is set to system and content is set to you are a helpful assistant that remembers the conversation. Now, we store user and assistant messages in an array which becomes our conversation memory. We convert the whole conversation into text and send it to OpenAI. That's what allows the model to answer based on previous context. And here we have our model created. We are using the responses API. So OpenAI.responses.create. It has this model parameter, which you can say is the brain. And then we have the input. Over here, you can see we are making use of the input, and this is using the updated messages. So we are giving everything, the previous conversation as well as the recent input that the user has provided, and that's become the input. So overall, the conversation history. And then we have the temperature set to 0.7, which allows for the creativity level. And here we have our max output tokens, which is the response size. So the overall flow is user sends a message, we update the UI, call OpenAI, get the reply, and store it again. Each turn grows the memory. So we now have a chatbot which remembers earlier messages, answers contextually, feels natural, is scalable. Now let's go ahead and try it out. Give me total number of planets in the solar system. Let's go ahead and see what it could revert back. So it says there are a total of 8 planets in the solar system. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now the next question is following up on the previous one. So here I'm asking which is the largest planet, and you can see that it is now able to infer that I am talking about the planet in the solar system, and the largest planet is Jupiter. Then we have the other follow-up question, which planet has the most number of moons? And over here it says the planet with the most number of moons in the solar system is Jupiter. It has 95 confirmed moons as of the latest count. Saturn follows closely with 83 confirmed moons. So you can see that it has now kept everything in the conversation history, and whenever you are following up with a new question which relates to the previous conversation, it is able to identify that, and then based on that, it is able to come up with the more relevant answer. And over here, you can see that when we are getting the response, we are just writing the output over here, and down below, we have our UI for it. So whatever responses we are getting, we are just showing it over here like a conversation between you and the bot. So user and bot conversation is shown like this. And then we have the chat input, which says ask something, and here you have thinking and send. So this way you can have a bot created. So you can see that how easily we have come up with a bot using the OpenAI SDK and React with a bit of CSS.
If you find the video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.